Hello, my name is Jacob Folger. I'm an artist sculptor, and today we're going to do a aged or antique bronze finish on this lion. And you should be able to do this on any paintable surface. This application is recommended for indoor use. Now this lion here, there's a tutorial. I have a tutorial on how to sculpt this lion, and you can find that in the video description down below the video, along with the tool and supply list for doing this finish. And before we start, it's a really good idea to dust off the sculpture and make sure that it doesn't have any dust on it. Do that a really good job of that, and then we'll go to get started on the painting. Now, I've got the lion sitting up on a bucket, and that just makes it easy to turn him while I'm working on him. I've got him on a regular piece of copy paper because that just helps keep it from sticking. And you want to follow the instructions on the paint can for shaking it and how long you need to shake it and all that sort of thing. And then you want to do a fanning motion and do light coats. And turn the sculpture as you go. And you want to avoid drips and runs and that sort of thing. You should do 2 coats. One let it dry, and then do a second coat. I want to talk about the paint for a minute. This brand is Rustoleum Ultra Cover Flat Black Primer. It is a primer, but it works really good as a paint too, and that's what I use today. Using a flat paint is a really good idea because the finish will look a lot better on flat black. Also, another paint that I use is Krylon flat black. I like that as well. I like the way the finish looks when it's finished, when it's done. And both these paints dry fairly quickly. Now, I'll put that in the tool and supply list in the video description down below the video, the paints that I'm using. So we have the lion painted black now, and we're going to go ahead and start to do the bronze finish. Now, we're using Johnson's Paste Wax, and let me just get this open. And we're using Pearl X Pigments Antique Bronze, and this is readily available in art and crafts type stores. You can get it online as well. Antique bronze is the color. And what I do is I put that in a lid like this, and pick up the lion here. I'm going to swirl my finger into the wax and then swirl it with my thumb to my forefinger, and then into the bronze and swirl that to kind of subdue it, and then start applying it with the finger to the lion. The idea here is to just highlight the lion with the bronze. And every time I dip my finger into the bronze, I swirl my thumb on my finger. And so I want lots of black shining through. This is going to look really old, and it's going to look like, it'll look like bronze. It's tempting sometimes to put like way too much bronze on because it looks so good, and then you're like, oh, maybe a little bit more, and maybe a little bit more, and before you know it, you put too much on. Now what I like to do is I'll take a small paintbrush and get it into the bronze, into the wax, and a little bit on the in the bronze, and then I'll dab it off to get the excess off. And I'll go into the areas that I couldn't get with my finger. And then once we've done that, we're going to wait about 10 minutes and we're going to buff it. And I'll come back in a minute. When the finish is done, I've had some people ask me if they should seal it. And I say no. I say don't seal it. And the reason why is because the wax is very hardy. I have pieces that have been around for 20 years and with the same finish on them, and they're doing just fine. Now again, this is for an indoor application. This is recommended for indoor use. But it also, if you were to seal it, a lot of sealants like matte finish or matte spray, that type of thing, they recommend that you don't put them over wax and dust and things like that. Now I have sealed my pieces with matte finishes before, clear sealants, and they lasted just fine, just as long as the ones that weren't finished that way. But it's not what I recommend for this. It looks a lot better to just leave it with the wax. The wax is very hardy. It's not going to peel off. It's not going to scrape off. It'll last a very long time. So just keep that in mind. Now, so finishing up, I use a soft cloth. This is just a flannel shirt cut into a square. And I just basically go over it, give it a little bit of a buffing. It brings out the sheen. It brings out the bronze a little bit better. And they're finishing up there. There we go. So that's how you do a aged bronze finish on. You can do it on pretty much any object. One thing I should tell you though, if you're going over something like polymer clay or something like that, you definitely don't want to paint it with spray paint because it'll get all sticky on you and it won't work very well. You should paint the base coat with an acrylic flat black finish or paint. But most any paintable object you can do this finish on. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. I have many videos along these lines. Please give the video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about it. And leave me a comment in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.